Cryptocurrency win against the SEC. Central banks push harder for digital currency. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, July the 16th. And, it was quite the week for a lot of things. But one of the big stories of the week, I think, is the cryptocurrency world, which we have talked about here many times, against the digital currency world. And, of course, you know the digital currency world is just another arm of central banking or the Federal Reserve. In other words, the cartel gets to grow even bigger and steal more of your money as we continue to watch the governments, the central banks, and the Federal Reserve destroy the economy, destroy your money, and force you into taxation without representation. As we continue to look at this, we saw that Ripple had a big victory against the SEC, which has been one of the big stories of the crypto world, is trying to push many of these cryptos into the control of the SEC instead of the CFTC, which, again, I don't care which government agency you look at, not one of them has your best interest at heart. They have their interest at heart and their money, not yours. Hence the FINRA day trading rule, which allows you to make X amount of trades per week. And if you get into a bad trade, you can't get out because you've made too many trades for that week. So this is pretty exciting. And obviously, if you were paying attention, they tried to push down the ETF that Coinbase was getting involved in, and suddenly Coinbase had a huge rally, along with many of the other cryptocurrency stocks, which is saying that the news looks pretty good and the future looks pretty good. We'll see. As you know, we are believers of it here. I don't know that it's a replacement, but I do think it is a pretty solid investment. But again, if you're going to invest in crypto, just make sure it's money that you're willing to lose, because again, there is no guarantee. But we've seen a lot of things pushing up, and of course, some of the bad information, the bad news for the week is China's growing influence around the globe, which becomes a very disturbing series of events. As they take over more and more of the farmland, they take over more and more of the control. And I think when you think about that, that is the last thing that we as Americans want, is to have to depend on China for our food, among other things. And of course, as I've told you before, they already own one of the largest pork producers in the world in Smithfields. So it's a very big problem, and you tie that into the hunkering down, so to speak, of American grocery shoppers. Now, I don't know if they're giving up their restaurants and their other things, but certainly we are seeing some issues in the grocery shopping and the consumption of less food, which again is not good for anybody. A, it's not good for you not to eat enough, but B, it's not good for our farmers. It's not good for anybody, and that ties right into export and import prices, which continue to fall. So you can think that Biden and company are doing a good job, but when you have interest rates spiking higher, when you have inflation spiking higher, and I don't care about the bullshit CPI number that was out last week on Tuesday, I think, which stated that our inflation has fallen once again. And I had a discussion with a friend of mine, and I said, hey, listen, just tell me what your spending is. I don't care what the government reports. Again, the government reporting has been pretty pathetic for at least the last 40 years that I can count for. We do not get the proper information. We get the information the way that they want to spin it. The same as the jobs number. So again, I just urge you to look inside your own spending, look at what you're doing, and then tell me if we have higher inflation or not. That's a very simple formula. I don't need a fancy formula, which really counts for big purchases, which how many times you make big purchases versus buying food and energy every single day. But look, this is all ties in together to what this administration, and this is purely this administration, the progressives that hate America, the people that want to control America, the deep state, and of course, it's creating financial shock, which is really going to set up what we've talked about for the last year. And, I hate to be right on some of these things, okay? But if you've been listening for the last 12 years that we've done Bubba's Bottom Line and other things like this, the things that we have talked about in the past have come to pass. And I'm really afraid of what we've talked about for months, which is the Great Reset. I don't know if you realize what the Great Reset means to you and your family, but I will promise you this, it ain't good, okay? I will promise you that the setup for what is happening is not only not good, but it is a disaster, which will basically wipe out the entire middle class if it continues. And unless you step up when it comes time to vote and when it comes time to have your voice heard, between China taking over the food supply, between the digital currency and other things, you're talking about problems, okay? I mean, we're seeing very deflationary times happening right before your very eyes. I don't know if we can get much better. And of course, when we continue to watch how we react and some of the things that we teach to our children, again, I'm going to go back to this trans and this sexuality thing. And again, as I've said before, I don't care what you do yourself. I don't care what you do in the privacy of your own home. But what I do care is what you teach to our children and how you teach our children. And because in this country, the family unit is breaking down, the education system is one of the worst in the world of any major country, okay? And yet we continue to repeat the same mistakes over and over again. I think that, you have, a very bad situation, and I think you're looking at what we're going to see is tyranny. Okay, you have these government programs and these government spy things that are basically watching everything you do, and if you tie together the rest of things they want to do, your total freedom and your total privacy will be gone forever. Okay, and I think that it's finally nice to see that the courts have done some good things, striking down some of the student loans, striking down some of the transgender policies for military, and the things that they're going to do. And I think that, when you look at the bigger picture, okay, I think you have to, recognize what direction we are headed in, and why the United States has not regained or taken back control and power, to me, is a crime in itself. Okay. I mean, why are we so concerned about the rest of the globe when we're not concerned about what's going on right here in the United States of America, from the overwhelming, massively growing homeless people, okay, to those that don't have jobs, to those that don't have homes, to those that don't make any money, for those who continue to wait online for potential benefits. This is not the America that I remember. This is not who we are. I thought we were a working nation that was, ready to always be in control, always have the power, and always to be in charge. And I think that this has become a much bigger problem. And between the BRICS nations starting to create their own currency, and don't think they can't. I mean, if you give them a gold-backed currency, it's going to be real. You've got 2 or 3 states in this country, Texas and Missouri for sure, want to go back on the gold standard in their own states, if not obviously statewide, countrywide. So you have so many issues that have been created, and thank you, President Biden, for being the idiot that you are, and continue to destroy America's middle class, and continue to destroy freedom, and taking away our ability to express ourselves in the way that we would like to. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. Todd Bubba Horowitz. It is Sunday, July the 16th. We're going to stop out here for a break, and we'll be back with our market update right after the break. Bubba's Bottom Line. What's up, kids? Well, again, as you know, we have some sponsors who take care of the show, and we know that the markets have been pretty good, and not nobody understands why. But also, we've got we got to make sure that we're using the proper tools, and of course, brokerages are part of the proper tools. Now, I have many brokers, so when I disclose who I do use, I just want you to know that I do have many others, but the two that I prefer, and again, I do remind you that if you're futures trading, you use one broker, and that's especially in futures, and if you're trading equities, you use a specialist in equities. In the meantime, our futures broker and partner is Capital Trading Group, CTG, and it's they're partners with us in many products, and of course, they take care of our members, and nothing better than I care about is customer service. In the meantime, check them out, info.capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba. There's also scrolling on the side. And for options and equities, trade your brokerage, $10 a month, free auto trading. I don't know what more you could ask for. I talk to people, how much do you want to give the money away? Send it to me. I'll take it. Okay. In the meantime, that's try.tradier.com/Bubba. Once again, scrolling on the sides. And of course, our high school program, which should tell you the biggest thing is I've spent personally out of my own money over $500,000 over the years trying to educate our youth, and I can't get the students to help us, and then of course helpers from Patreon try. And again, we're giving it till the end of the year to make it work, or we're going to drop it because again, like beating my head up against the wall. But it's our high school program, the information is going on the bottom. In the meantime, let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and of course our market update. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, July the 16th. And of course, here we are. Markets continue to defy all logic, all odds as they continue to go higher. It is interesting as we watch and we continue to see. But as we look across the week, the major indices were all higher and all broke out of consolidation. Through whatever news, whatever anybody's pricing in. I will say that I do believe that this is a retail rally, that the big firms, the big professionals are waiting to pounce, but it doesn't matter. If you're long, you're making money, okay? And the 4 major indices have broken out to some new levels, broken above that consolidation range, even the weakness in the Russell. The only one that's kind of lagging is the Dow that is right at resistance. But in the meantime, we are still long all 4 of the major indices. And as we look across the board, the dollar got slaughtered this week. And again, we don't trade the dollar anymore, but if we did, we would have been shorted. Okay. Bitcoin had a nice little pop, but it's still just kind of hovering around that 30,000. It got up to almost 32,000, came right back down, but it's really stuck 30 to 32,000, but we are long. The euro currency popped up pretty good solid, which makes sense. It's obviously the opposite of the dollar index. And of course, in the euro currency, we are still long. Bonds and notes took some pressure this week after last week's big rally. But again, I think that you'll see that they're going to go much lower. Okay, although we are going to reverse tonight or tomorrow, depending on when you do it, our 10-year. Okay, too long. Personally, I believe that they're going much lower because I do believe interest rates are going much higher. Bonds, we're still going to be short. And of course, so the bonds and notes are kind of starting to mix up again or split. And in the precious metals, gold had a week a little bit higher, still has not triggered a fresh buy, but silver has triggered a fresh buy at the end of last week, and it continued to be as higher as well. Platinum, as we kept telling you, buy it around 900, and of course it's now as close to 1,000. I don't know if it would be, we don't trade it anymore, but certainly I don't think it would be an uptrend yet, but it could be. And certainly I would be a buyer, not a seller anyways. Copper, which we are now long, had a pretty solid up week as well. I think that you have to just, understand. Now, to me, it doesn't make any sense as copper goes charging higher. But again, I could be wrong, which is why we don't fight the taper. We don't fight the market. Crude broke out of resistance, out of a consolidation pattern, is pulling back to support. And we'll see. I would think that, we are long crude, and I would think at 74 would be the level to look to add or to buy. Natural gas just continues to vacillate in the middle of nowhere. We're still long, but it's just ugly, not doing much. In the grain markets, we are short wheat and we are short corn, and going to reverse soybeans tonight or tomorrow again, go back to you. But I do think that they all have kind of found some bottoms, so I'm fairly confident with where we are with that. And in the meats, the fats and the feeder cattle are at all-time highs. I'm a seller. Okay, we would be long them, but we don't trade anymore. But now we're getting to a point where prices are becoming ridiculous. Nobody can afford them anyways. And hogs, we would be long, but I've told you, regularly over here that we'd like to be a seller. They got back to $1. We did sell some at $1 last Wednesday, and we look for them to go lower. And of course, in the softs, cocoa was higher. We're long. Cotton was lower. We're short. Sugar is trying to push higher. We're still short. OJ was kind of sideways. We're still short. And coffee is again just coming out the bottoms, and we're still short there as well. So it was a decent week, and everything that seems to be okay. I think the markets are, again, they're going to continue to go up. I don't tell you to do anything but follow the tape and follow the trend right now. Do I have an opinion? Of course, you know what my opinion is. But at the end of the day, you can't fight it because you don't know how long it can last. This is Bubba's Bottom Line, top of Forbes. It is Sunday, July the 16th. We're going to step out here for our final break and come back with our commentary right after the break. Well, kids, what up? And again, just a reminder, I won't go through the whole spiel here, but the brokerage partners that we have, and we do have other brokers, but Trader Brokerage for options and equities, $10 a month. I don't know how you could even think about passing that up. And of course, Capital Trading Group, our partners on Day Trader's Dream, our partners on a lot of things, and of course, they do great service, great job. And again, I urge you to have a separate equity and a separate futures broker if you're going to trade them both. And of course, our high school program, and all the information either is scrolling on the sides or on the bottom. Okay, so let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line, and of course, my commentary right now. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, July the 16th, and as you know, every week I talk about something that's on my mind, and I got so many things on my mind right now that it's hard to put them in properly. But I think that the Biden administration has done a horrendous job at taking care of Americans. I think the Biden administration has done a horrible job at allowing China to gain so much power, along with Saudi Arabia and Russia. And I'm so sick and tired of the rhetoric of the sanctions on Russia while Biden pumps billions of dollars into Ukraine. It is really, I find it extremely frustrating to watch true America haters running the country into the ground. Okay, this is like driving your car when it says it needs to change oil and you don't change it for another 100,000 miles. It is a horrendous situation that we're watching, and you're watching the destruction of your very own country in front of your eyes, and it is being done intentionally, which makes me even sadder. So I hope that you feel similarly that we need to do something about what's going on in this country, because if not, we will be just like every other major empire, melting away each and every day. Bubba's Bottom Line, top of Horowitz. This is Sunday, July the 16th. No sports yet, so have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you back here on Tuesday with Bubba's Daily Update. I will be traveling tonight and tomorrow, so I will see you back here on Tuesday with Bubba's Daily Update. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you later.